Let's change the oil on my 2016 CRF450X. Let's start by preparing all the tools and materials we're going to need to get this thing done. T-handle wrenches, sockets, extension, new oil filter, digital torque wrench, 1/4 inch drive, and a roll of tin foil. Don't forget your puppy pad for underneath your oil tray just in case you get some spillage. You should not be wrist balling any of these bolts. It will bite you in the ass. Invest in a good 1/4 inch drive torque wrench for all your engine bolts. Also, I have everything else laid out: shop towels, funnels, measuring cups, and over here we have the oil. This bike actually takes oil in 2 different places. It doesn't share oil throughout the transmission and the engine. In my transmission, I like to put this 80W85, and in the engine it gets a 10W40. You can run 10W40 in the transmission as per the manual if you really want, but this stuff just gives you a little bit of extra protection. I like to pre-soak my oil filter in oil. I see guys pre-soaking a whole bunch of them and leaving them on the shelf. They are made of paper, you know, I don't want them to degrade. So I just soak mine for the duration of the change process just to get it ready to go. If you leave your funnels and your measuring cups hanging out in your garage uncovered like I do, give them a quick check just to make sure there's nothing in them before you start filling them up with oil. And look, we got a nice dead fly in there. We don't want him in our engine, so give it a quick spray with some non-chlorinated brake cleaner and a quick wipe. Don't forget your rubber gloves. We'll start by getting this filter soaking right away. I like to keep a notepad, keep track of my oil changes. We have the date, oil and filter change, number of hours that are on the hour meter. If you don't have one, you should get one. I like to write down the capacities of the engine and the transmission. We got it here, and the respective torque specifications for the bolts we're going to need to take out and put back in. You're going to want to start the bike and let it run at idle for 2 to 3 minutes to warm the oil up slightly. It'll run a lot smoother and you'll drain it a lot easier. Puppy pad. Oil drain pan. Secret weapon. Info oil. Helps make a funnel around the skid plate to get the oil out over it without having to take it off. So first things first, take out your oil drain plug. You want to make sure that the bike is relatively clean before you do any of this, at least clean around here so you're not getting any dirt in your engine. $10 T-handle. Pull out this oil drain plug. Some guys like to kick the bike once or twice to get extra oil out. I don't bother. Once your engine oil is pretty much done draining, you can go in there and get the transmission oil bolt out, which is going to be a 12 T-handle. This is where you're going to need the tin foil. Get that hose up out of the way. And kind of look like that. Make sure you get it good up and in behind that bolt, okay? Remove the transmission fill cap. And you see that tin foil makes a nice little trough into your oil pan, keeps it out of your skid plate. Now while that's draining, we're going to take our drain plug bolts. We're just going to wipe them. Give them a good wipe. Take the old crush washer off. Lots of guys reuse these, and if they don't look like they're in too bad a condition, you certainly can. But I have a whack of them, so I put a new one on every time. So throw that one out. Make sure there's nothing in the threads. Put the new oil crush washers on. They're the same size for both of them. Then we're going to put a little bit of engine oil. on the threads. You don't need a lot. Helps them reseat and torque properly. The oil's done draining now, so we're going to reinstall these. Transmission bolt first, up behind the shifter. It's a little finicky up there. Try to get it started by hand. Engine oil drain plug. 12 mil for the transmission, and tight. 10 mil for the oil drain, and tight. Both of these drain bolts are going to 12 foot-pounds. Now it's time for your oil filter, which is hiding right in here. 8 mil T-handle. Keep your thumb on here because the spring's going to want to push it right out. Just let that residual oil drain out before you go pulling it out and getting it everywhere. So I had to make a little modification to my skid plate here. It's the first time I've tried to change the oil since I put this new skid plate on. It was supposed to be engineered so that it wouldn't be in the way, but it was. So rather than take it off, I just bent it out a little bit. This plate should pop right off now. Careful you don't lose the spring. Filter just pops right off like that. Inspect your O-ring. They do recommend replacing it if it gets damaged, but you can reuse it. If you're putting a new one on there, make sure you put some oil on it first before you pop it on there to prevent it from getting pinched when you reinstall it. This one looks like it's in really good shape. It's only been on there for 5 hours, so I'm going to reuse it. Get our new oil filter out. The rubber seal goes towards the front cover and slides right over top of it. Nice and snug. Spring goes back in here. Now this guy's loose, and some guys like to put a dab of grease on the end of it to hold it in. I've never had any issue getting it in there into this place that it needs to go, so I don't do the grease. We're going to do the same bolt cleaning procedure as we did with the drain bolts. Just give those threads a good wipe. We do not need to put oil on the oil filter cover bolts. Okay, so don't overthink it. This spring needs to go into that little divot back there, and it should slide in. But this cover does only go on one way. So you want to leave the side that doesn't have a jet built in to your right hand side. If you look here. Give it a little test to make sure that spring is doing its job. Reinstall your bolt. Push it nice and tight with your thumb till you get one bolt hand tight. Make sure you're looking to double check and see if that oil seal gets pinched. Looks like we're in good shape here. Reflect on our torque specs for this cover, and the filter bolts are 7 pounds. Okay, so now we got our drain bolts out. Everything is drained. The oil filter's been replaced. Everything's torqued back up. We can add the oils. Let's not waste this little bit of oil that we used to soak our filter. Engine oil is 700 milliliters. That's with filter. If you're not changing your filter, it's a little bit less. I'll attach a spec from the manual for you here. Right there. Remember to always give your funnel a quick check too, because Dirt can hide in there. You don't want it to go in your engine. I still like to leave a little bit out and check it with the dipstick, and just to be safe. It's a lot easier to add than it is to take out. I like to hold the bike level when I'm checking that oil level. Do not screw it in. Just sit it in nice and pull it out. Yeah, we need to add some more. Get the bike level and check the oil one more time. And that's exactly where we want it. We don't want it past that little fill marker right there. Alright, let's check our notes for the transmission side. Here we have 653 milliliters. Let's do it. Have to crack another one. Now the manual specs to pop out the transmission check bolt, which is this little guy right here. It's got a little copper washer on it. You level the bike and then you unscrew this and some oil should come out, which is a good way to avoid underfilling it, but doesn't really help you too much if it's overfull, because it would need to be overfull for any oil to come out. So I just trust the measurements, and hasn't failed me yet. And like I said, some guys like to put up to 900 milliliters in the transmission. Now, as one final check, I do start the bike, let it run for a couple of minutes at idle, and double check that engine oil. Gas on, full choke. Alright, so after starting the bike for about 30 seconds and adding a touch more oil, we're going to do a double check. And she's sitting comfortably just below that upper fill limit line, which is perfect. You can be anywhere between the midway point and the top of that line, and you'll still be good. But if you're getting somewhere between the middle and that lower point, you're going to want to add some oil. I hope this helped you out. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more great content.